So I dropped this 3D text design tutorial a few months ago, and guess what? I got 3.1k views, which is massive. But then I'm sad. I'm sad because people actually got a free knowledge without subscribing to my channel. So I decided to do this one again. So in today's tutorial, we are going to visualize this product in Cinema 4D. Trust me, it's going to be fast and easy. So without wasting much time, let's start with our design process. So this is the Cinema 4D software. I'm using the R20 version. So if you open your Cinema 4D for the first time, this is what you are going to see. So before we start, let's make an adjustment to our layout. So first of all, you see this box with a shaded small box in the corner here. You have to click on it there to give you all the 4 displays in Cinema 4D. So you have the perspective view, which is the 3D view, the top, the front, and the right. But I will only need the perspective view and the front view in this tutorial. So what I will do now is you go here to your panels, then you will see arrangement. Scroll and select the 2 views side by side. So I'll click on it. So now I have my perspective view, which is my 3D view, and my top view, but I don't want the top view. So go to camera, then switch from the top view to the front view. So this is the front view, then I'll click on it. So if you check here, I have my front view. So you can use these two to navigate around. The same thing in this view too. Then this arrow can help you zoom in and out in your workspace, and this one is for rotation. The same thing applies in the 3D view. So now let's import our reference image in the front view. So we can do that by going to options, then if you go to the bottom, you will see config, then you press on config. So now make sure in this window you select back, then you scroll down to this option, you see image. So where there is image, you see there is a 3 dot here, so click on that 3 dot, then locate your image. So I have my image in download. So this is my image. So you can download any reference image in Pinterest, then follow the tutorial, it will work for you. So I'll select this image, then I'll click on open. So now this is my image, but it is falling at the center of my view. But then I have to make sure the button, this button stands on this red line. So this red line is like our floor, so the product has to stand on the floor. So we can do that by tweaking these options, the S and the Y. So look here, if you look here, you see the Y is going at the top and the S is going the other way, side by side. But now you want to push it to the top, so you have to adjust the Y axis. So if you come here, you see the Y, offset Y. So I'll drag it up like this. So you see, as I'm dragging it out, the product is going up. I'll make sure the button sits on the red line, this one like this. So I can now bring it, drag my viewport here like this, then I'll zoom in. So now this is my product. So whatever we are going to do here is going to reflect here. So now what we can do now is reduce the opacity of the image, the reference image, so that you will see whatever we are doing clearly. So you see there's opacity here, transparency, sorry. So I'll increase my transparency. So the more I increase, the more the image fade. So I'll put it here, 83% is okay for me. Then when you check here, you see there's this tool like pen tool here. So you select that tool, then you zoom into your workspace like this. Then you make sure we are going to trace only half of the image. So you see the green line is dividing the image into 2 equal halves. So we are going to trace only half. So I'll start from this side. So I'll click here, then I'll click this here. So we are just drawing using the pen tool. So I'll zoom in. So if you are using the external mouse, you can scroll, then it will zoom in instead of zooming in and out. If you are using the external mouse, you can scroll up to zoom in, scroll down to zoom out. So I'll click like this. Then I'll use my move tool to drag so that I'll zoom out a bit like this. So I'll trace around the image, bring it down like this. So do the same thing as I'm doing. Yeah, so this is the top. Now bring it up. So in this tutorial we are not going to worry ourselves on the cap, so I just want it to be brief. So after tracing, I'll press on my escape key. So you see now everything is gone. So what I'll do now is, you see this tool here, click on it without releasing your hand. You'll see the rectangular selection, so I'll select that one. Then I'll make sure to zoom out so that I'll see everything that I'm doing. Then I'll click to highlight everything that I've traced. Then I'll right click. If you right click, you see plenty options, so click on the soft interpolation. So what that will do is, let me do Ctrl Z. You see now I have sharp edges. So what the interpolation will do is, it will make it round edges so that my model will be perfect. So I'll right click, then click on soft interpolation. You see now I have round edges. Now that I'm done, let me click on this again to bring my 3D view. So you see now nothing is happening here. You have to add a modifier. So this is the modifier that is going to transform everything. So I'll click without releasing my hand, and you see this modifier, it is called the light, whatever you mention it. I'll click on it, then you see it has appeared here. So what I will do now is I'll drag this spline to this modifier like this, then I'll leave it. So the moment I leave it, you see now I have my model, my container is ready. Yeah, the container is now ready. But if you look at the bottom here, you see we are having some mesh issues here. So what I will do to fix it is, I will delete the bottom faces, then I'll regenerate it. So now I want to make this thing editable. So select this modifier, then press C on your keyboard. It will make this editable. Now I don't need this front view again, so I'll come here, then I'll click on this one to see everything that I'm doing. So now you see, if you look at the left side here, we have this plenty tool. So locate this polygon tool. After locating it, I'll go over here, then click without releasing my hand, then I'll select the live selection tool. Then I'll click and drag around to select everything here, then I'll press my delete key. So now if you look at, you see it is a hole. So I'll fix it by closing this polygon. So you see, first we selected the polygon mode. So the polygon mode will allow you to select faces like this. We have the edges mode, this one. This is the edges, so it will help me to select edges like lines around the model. And this one will help me, the vertex mode, the point mode will help me to select points on my model. So I want to close this one, so I'll go back to my edge mode. Then I'll make sure to rotate it to where I can see my edge like this. So instead of me selecting everything by pressing shift and clicking one, there's a shortcut in selecting everything at once, and it is called the loop selection. So you can go to your edge mode, then you right click, look through, you will see loop selection. You will see the loop selection in here. But I don't want to waste too much time going through the tool, so there's a shortcut for it. So the shortcut is L. So the moment you press Ju, then you press L, it will bring the tool. So now you see, if I put it at the edge, it is highlighting everything. Then I'll click on it, then I'll right click, then I'll go to close polygon hole, this one. The shortcut is MD. So now I'll click on it, then I'll bring it to one point of the edge, then I'll press it. So now you see it has closed it, and I'm not having issue. Now let's insert more faces here so that it won't be so that we have merge issue. I don't have to go into detail, so let's create more face. So I can do that with the insert tool. So I can right click, then look through. I'll see insert. The shortcut for that is I. So when you go through, you see the insert, the shortcut is I. So if I press on it, I'll see this is the 2. Yeah, so insert. So if you press I, you will see it. Then I'll click on this green one. Sorry, I don't have to press on the green one. I have to go to face selection mode. So I'll go back to my polygon, then I'll select this one before I press my I to go to my insert. Then I'll click, then dragging, and for the last one, let me rotate it like this. Then I'll select another tool called extrude. So you can press E to get it, or say right click, then you see this is the extrude. So this is the extrude inner that I was talking about, the one I use the I to select. So this is the extrude itself that we are going to use. Then I'll drag it up a bit like this. Yeah, so this is it. Now let me select this one, the model selection. So now this is my model. I'm done visualizing my model. So it is left with texturing. So the texturing will give it this color stuff that we are seeing now. So you can do that by using materials. So before I continue on, let's do this thing. You see, if you look at the bottle, there's a drink inside. So let's create the model for that drink. So I can do that by duplicating this layer. So I'll hold down my control key, then I'll drag it downwards like this. So now let me rename this one. Double click, then say bottle, enter. Then I'll double click this one, then I'll say drink, then enter. So now let me hide the bottles to work on the drink. So you see these 2 dots, the top one, click on it till it turns red. So now I'll select the drink, then I'll press on, then I'll select this polygon tool like this. Then I'll go back to my live selection, right click on it without releasing my hand, then select the rectangle selection. Then I'll highlight everything to the level where I want my drink to be. Then I'll delete it. Let me rotate it like this. Then I'll go back to my edge selection mode, then still the same loop selection. So I'll use the shortcut U, then L, then I'll select it. You see now it has selected all the loops. Then I'll right click, then I'll go close polygon hook. Then I'll bring it to one edge. I'll click like this to close it. So now this will be my drink. Then I'll turn on my bottle now. So now what we can do is apply material. So in order to get a realistic bottle, you have to use external render in Cinema 4D. So that is my experience. So the render engine I use is Corona Render. So this is not what we are going to talk about today. So today we are going to do just a basic rendering with Cinema 4D render engine and materials. So if you look at the bottom here, you can see create. So you can click on it, then you say new material, or what you can do is double click here. So if I double click here, you see this material has been created. So now I'll double click in it to edit it. So if you look here, you have color, diffusion, plenty things. So what I will do now is we are going to create a material for the bottle, and if you look at the bottle, it is transparent. That is how can you see the drink inside. So you can make that transparent by turning on this transparency. So the moment I press on it, you see this material is gone. So it was like this, but if I press on it, it is gone. Yeah, so let's learn what you see. If you look at, there's some reflections on the surface of the bottle. So I can do that by turning on the reflectance. Then if you are using the R20 version of the Cinema 4D, you can click on add, then you turn on GGX, then under the brightness section, reduce it to at least something like 50. Now let me turn on my transparency. Yeah, So now let me close it. Then I'll drag this one to the bottle. So you see, now you can actually see the drink inside the bottle. Yeah, so now the bottle is transparent. Then the same double click here, then I'll double click inside the material, then I'll change the color. So if you look at the drink, it is orange. So come to color, then adjust the color. I'll bring this one to the oranges, then I'll drag the saturation one to the distance, the oranges. So the hue will be in the orange, the saturation will be 100%. Then for the value to, I'll bring it 100%. Then I'll press on OK. But oh sorry, I was working in the wrong window. I have to go to color, not transparent. So I have to go to color, then for my hue it will be in the orange saturation. I'll increase it to 100%, the value to 100%. Then I'll press on my OK. So now this is the color for my drink. Then I'll come back to transparency. I want to have the reflectance. I want to have a reflection on my drink. So I'll go to add, then GGX again, then I'll reduce the brightness. Now let me close it, then I'll drag the material to the drink. So now this is how it looks like. So this is the drink and the bottle, but I have to reduce the size of the drink a bit. If not, I'll have issues after rendering, because the drink is having the same size as the bottle. So I have to reduce the size so that the drink will be inside the bottle rather. So you see these two, if you click on it, then you select your drink, then you click outside spaces like this. Don't select any point, like outside, you drag like this. Then what I will do is I will move it up a bit by using these two. Then you see the green nozzle, I'll drag it up a bit like this. Yeah, so now I'm done. My product is ready for rendering, but let's do some test render. You won't get a realistic view. Yeah, I told you. So you have to do some lightening, then other things. Subscribe to this channel. So the next part of the video will be how to install Corona Render to your Cinema 4D and how to do some adjustment to get a realistic render. So for now, let's save our model and wait for another day. Don't forget to leave a subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe my channel, then share to others who need it the most. Don't limit yourself to only test design. Learn a lot, because if you are doing design like, let's say something like Sobolo, it will be difficult to get mockups like that. But if you have the skill of modeling, you can just generate it yourself. See you next time.